Hey everybody, welcome back to the Scented Dark Fragrance channel. Thank you so much for being here today. My name is Benjamin and I review fragrances, colognes, perfumes, and all things scent related. I learn about fragrances and I test them and share them with you so you can be smelling fantastic. So today we're going to be jumping into the house of Guy Fawkes. I did make a video sharing these fragrances and talking about these fragrances in my introductions and first impressions. This is my final thoughts on this fragrance. At first I thought I would do a full-length review on each fragrance, but I gotta get these fragrances out to y'all for the giveaway. So I wanted to just do an overall house impressions of this collections and kind of a quick review of each one of these fragrances. Now, I do like to do these kinds of things and I would like to do more. I have a couple discovery sets and those kinds of things, and I'll do that in the future, but they're kind of rare. Let me know if you like this kind of thing where I do, review 6 fragrances or do the best of a, top 10, those kind of best videos. But today, let's jump into these fragrances. Before I do, I gotta say that if you're in, want to try these samples out, if you want to win these 6 samples, you gotta enter into the giveaway. So definitely head over to my video of my 1,000 subscriber giveaway, my 1,000 subscriber celebration. Of course, I'm excited about that. Very excited, and thank each and every one of you. But to this collection, let's jump into these fragrances. So the first one I have to share with y'all is none other than Grant. This is the fragrance I was most interested in, and for me personally, the one I kind of became less interested in. This fragrance has an awful lot of ginger, and the ginger is very good in this fragrance, and it's actually done very well. It just doesn't suit my personality. This is a kind of a green fragrance, a very nice, fresh, beautiful fragrance, and then it has this kind of a little slightly of a dry nature to it with a spicy ginger. It's very fresh. Very few fragrances do a fresh spicy, so this isn't like any spice that you probably tried before, unless you've tried Tom Ford's Pour Homme, Polo Safari, and those kinds of fragrances that have ginger or those kinds of bright citrusy spiciness kind of going on. Overall, a very nice and interesting fragrance. If you haven't tried that kind of note, if you're a gentleman and you do like that kind of nature, I do feel like these fragrances are good value. I should give a quick overview of what I got from what I tested. I'll do that real quick here. I got about 5 to 7 hours of performance with moderate projection for most of these fragrances. For the value for money for what you're getting, I believe they're about $50 for about 50 mils or so. So overall, it's actually a pretty good value for money. These aren't cheapies, but they are solid fragrances, very modern fragrances that have decent projection. They aren't beast and they aren't weak for any means. And they definitely have, they're very noticeable. Because they're mass appealing and they're kind of distinct, they tend to draw attention a little bit better. So again, these are complement fragrances. They aren't overtly amazing or, I guess, a shock factor, as in for like niche heads or people who are fragrance aficionados. But for people out there, they can tell that this is a mass appealing fragrance and they're kind of comfortable with, but that there's interesting aspects and there's good quality to it, so they are drawn to these fragrances. If you want a gift for yourself or you want very nice versatile fragrances in your collection, these are good choices. And for gifts, definitely these are good. But again, with Grant, the next one I have to share was my favorite from the collection. This is probably one of the most mass appealing fragrances, if not maybe the most mass appealing of this collection. Jefe, or the Boss, is a very nice green, fresh fragrance. It's very playful, but it has a little bit of an aquatic side. I think it's a little bit more on the green side of things, though. This is exactly what I wanted CH212 men to smell like. I was very disappointed with that fragrance, and I was very happy with this fragrance. This is a spectacular fragrance. So this is kind of a modern interpretation of Abercrombie & Fitch's Fierce. It has a little bit more density behind it. So it has the very nice grass or grassy nature to it. A very nice kind of playful aquatic Very kind of a masculine, a young masculine fragrance. And it just has a little bit of citrus going on. It's definitely very mass appealing. If you like those kinds of fragrances, like Mont Blanc's interpretation of it, or just want a gift for a young man, you know, this is a very mass appealing fragrance. This is so easy to wear. This is so good. So definitely check this one out. I do feel like this fragrance has a little bit of a cactus feel, and I really do like fragrances that are able to pull off a cactus-like freshness. So this fragrance, for me, is very nice, and I have a full-size bottle to show you all soon. And definitely check out this fragrance. It's very nice, and I was very impressed with it. Check out the notes for that one. Next one I have to share with y'all is JP. Now JP is a kind of a classic fragrance for the classic fragrance kind of guy. I do feel like this one is a little bit more masculine. This is one that the ladies might not appreciate as much. You get kind of like a stone or a pebble feel with this fragrance. You get a very nice, soft, kind of aquatic fragrance with a little bit of depth. If you liked vodka on the rocks, if you liked fragrances like that, that have that pavement kind of feel, Narciso Rodriguez, some of their fragrances kind of have that. I feel like this is perfect for a rainy day, a very casual fragrance. Again, if you like that kind of feel, of kind of that gray kind of feel, Tom Ford Grey Vetiver has a little bit of it, but that fragrance is more citrusy and more vetiver based. If you wanted a more calm and mellow kind of fragrance that had that similar feel to that, this is definitely a good one to check out. I do feel like since I've got this sample that it smelled better. Perhaps it took a little bit of time for it to mellow out in the bottle, to just blend a little bit better, maybe get a little bit aerated. But this fragrance is a solid masculine fragrance. Very nice. Again, this is mass appealing, but a little bit different. If you want to be a modern masculine man and smell different but still mass appealing to people around you, I think that this could work, you know, for work or certain situations where you need to have a confident, maybe serious vibe about you. So definitely check out JP. This is actually the blend of this, and the quality of the, you know, the fragrance with the perfumer. How they did this was, I think, very well done, and this is one of their best, I think. So definitely check out JP. The next one I have to share with y'all is Maura. Now, in my opinion, even though all of these fragrances are unisex, this is the one that perhaps is the most feminine. You're getting a very nice fruity fragrance with a little bit of floral, but the fruit here, again, almost has, for me, this kind of like old cherry vibe in the best way possible. It's not particularly juicy, it's not particularly fruity, but it has that kind of vibe about it. It has that feeling of fruit. Overall, very nice. It has a touch of sweetness, and it's not overly sweet. It has a little bit of a dark floral and a dark feel kind of blending in, but this isn't a dark fragrance. It's somewhere in between bright and dark. So although this is a very good, nice kind of fruity floral fragrance, again, this one I think has a little bit of an air of like seriousness and sensuality, a little bit of that thrown in, and would work very well for maybe a first date night for a lady on your first date, or perhaps for work. It could work for going out, kind of like a night fragrance when you don't want to draw too much attention. But it's very nice, and I think is a very good modern interpretation of like a floral fragrance for a lady. You know, because so many of those bright floral fragrances are out there, the Chloe's and all those kinds of fragrances. I feel like this one, they did a good job and they put something different out there, and I appreciate that. The next one I have to share with y'all is Mccool. Now, Mccool is it's a dark floral fragrance. There's a little bit of fruitiness, just like Maura. There's a little bit of floral, just like Maura. But this one has a little bit of a dry nature to it, just a little bit, and it almost has a little bit of earthiness going on. Now, you could kind of compare this to Black Orchid, if they made a very mass appealing, very versatile version of it. I guess you could say there's a little bit of that dark floral and a tiny bit of that earthiness going on in this fragrance. I do like the composition. I do feel like this one is very interesting and very well done for this house, for these fragrances that they came out with. They're so mass appealing, and yet there's something different about it, and I really do appreciate that. A very interesting fragrance, no doubt about it. If you like dark florals, if you like something a little bit more sensual, I do feel like a man could pull that off, but that one as well is a little bit better for a lady. The next one, the last one I have to share with y'all today, is Hermes. I guess you could say Hermes, but it's not. It's I do feel like this fragrance captures the Italian vibe. Very nice, playful citrus fragrance. Again, with a very nice kind of fresh green nature. Very nice. I do like the citruses in this fragrance. At first, I didn't enjoy this fragrance the most. I don't know why, but this fragrance kind of has grown on me, and it has, every time I've smelled it, it's just become better and better. So overall, a very nice Italian coast kind of vibe fragrance with citruses. They're very playful. There's a little bit of this citrusy, almost like a pineapple vibe going on. This isn't a Ventus, but it does have a very nice bright citrus and a little bit of fruitiness and a little bit of a green nature. That this maybe perhaps could give you a very small impression of a Ventus. But overall, a very nice modern fragrance. It's so easy to wear. At first, for some reason, this one I didn't gravitate towards it the most, but it's really grown on me. It's a very nice, versatile fragrance with that energy and that vibe I think that we all love. Again, from the Italians. If I was to give my final thoughts on these fragrances, Jefe perhaps performed the best. They talk about it as being one of their strongest performers. I do agree that this one projects more. Again, a very nice fresh cactus, kind of aquatic fragrance. Grant has that fresh spiciness going on. It became a little bit more of a musky scent and a fresh spicy kind of skin scent. This one did last a very long time, but it just didn't project the most. Very nice though, very nice fragrance. Aramis is the ones that didn't project or perform the most. It projected decently, but because of the fresh notes, it just didn't last as long, but it's very nice. Maura was kind of the middle of the road, 6 hours about fragrance with decent performance. It did a good job, and again, I feel like this is a very good offering for a modern lady. A very good fragrance for casual or just out and about situations. Mccool was one that was interesting. It seemed to become a skin scent very fast and seemed to die rather quickly, but then it kind of came back. One of those fragrances that almost had like a second life or came back like the Phoenix, and it became like a skin scent, and it had this kind of it gave you this kind of this aura about you. So overall, the performance on this was kind of solid. If you like that kind of fragrance that is more subtle, a little bit more of like an ISO-y super kind of effect going on, maybe like a centric molecule thing kind of going on, definitely check this one out. But not bad, but on some people you might find that fragrance doesn't perform the best. And last, with JP, this fragrance, it didn't project the most, did become a little bit musky, but kind of was like average performance. So overall, I hope that you've liked this review. I've kind of gone throughout each one of these fragrances. To go through 6 fragrances this fast is kind of a hard thing to do for me. I'd like to go through and do a review that takes 10 minutes long. But I hope that you've learned something from these fragrances today. Again, if you haven't checked out these fragrances, you can pay for shipping and get 3 samples for free. I'll link it in the description below, and head over there. Definitely check out, again, if you haven't checked out my video of my 1,000 subscriber celebration with the gift, out there and check these fragrances and test these fragrances. I really appreciate, again, Guy Fawkes for doing this and having the chance to test these fragrances and share them with you. and I'm going to be giving away these same samples that I tested myself here today. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. If you want to see me make more content, if you want to support the channel, please like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Hitting that notification bell is so important because when you subscribe, it doesn't turn on that bell. I think it did in the past, but you have to hit the bell and turn those on so you get an update when I release a video, so you never miss out on an episode. But thank you all so much for being here today. This has been my reviews, quick and fast reviews of each fragrance, as fast as I could. And again, thank you all so much for being here today. Each and one of you is special. Each one of you is great. Let's have a fantastic day. And don't forget to wear what you love. And I'll see y'all next time. This has been the Scented Fragrance channel. I'll see you, and bye.